Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Andrew Bone here with BamaInsider.com. Just wanted to kind of bring you guys up to speed on everything that's going on with Alabama. This final weekend before National Signing Day. Got 5 points I want to talk about, and then get you guys out of here. First off, official visits for Alabama this weekend. Just four guys, all commitments. All pretty solid with Alabama, so not too much to worry about. You got Quandarius Robinson coming back in town, Brian Branch, Thal Jones Bell, and Trayshawn Holden. Now, all of these guys expect to sign their letter of intent next week on Wednesday. Now, the only one that has continued to take some visits elsewhere is Trayshawn Holden. He's taken an official visit to Oregon. He was in Arizona State last weekend. And kind of said some things in his interview on Rivals with our Arizona State guys over at Devil's Digest. That he was really trying to decide what he was going to do. That he really liked Arizona State a lot, a little bit closer to home, or a little bit closer to his mom. She lives in California. So, from what I've been gathering over the course of the last few days, Alabama seems pretty, confident that he's going to end up sticking with Alabama. I think that they've been kind of working their magic, making sure everything's on the up and up. And I just don't see anything changing with him. I think he signs with Alabama next week. I think they lock it all down this weekend, and there's probably not too much to worry about outside of that. Next point: key targets visiting elsewhere. And I touched on this on BamaInsider.com earlier today. We're going to see Darnell Washington, the big five-star tight end from Las Vegas, go over to Tennessee this weekend. It's going to be his last official visit. Arian Smith is going to take that official visit up to Georgia this weekend. Jordan Birch, another big Alabama target, five-star defensive end. It looks like he's going to South Carolina. I don't know if it's been officially confirmed just yet. It's kind of interesting because he's only taken two official visits. He's visited Alabama and LSU. Didn't visit Georgia. Hasn't visited Clemson. But all signs point to him taking that final official visit to South Carolina. So only using three official visits. Kind of interesting, but some of these other schools still kind of, Georgia still kind of feels like they've they're right there at the top with him. I don't know if there's too concerned about him, maybe not coming in. Now, he could surprise us all and go to Georgia or go to Clemson this weekend. I don't think anybody just knows for certain what he's going to do, but like I said, it looks like he's going to go to South Carolina this weekend for an official. All right, so I guess there was one more guy. I was about to move on to my next point, but one more guy that we're kind of keeping an eye on this weekend is Alabama commitment Tim Smith. Tim Smith going over to Florida this weekend. He was in Tuscaloosa last weekend. I really like Alabama's chances as of right now in terms of keeping him. I would say in terms of Alabama keeping him, I'd put it at about 90%. I hate doing percentages. I've said this for 16 years. Wherever I've been, I've said I hate putting percentages on it because those percentages can go up and down, throughout the year, every week, every day. I mean, it changes. But as of right now, I would say about 90%. Even though I hate that, but I do like Alabama's chances in keeping him. Now, what's going to happen this weekend on the official visit? We'll see. I think Florida's really going to have to do a lot for him to want to flip to them. They're really going to have to open his eyes up, a lot more to them this weekend. But as of right now, really like Alabama's chances on keeping him on board. All right, so which targets are not taking any visits this weekend? So Alabama head coach Nick Saban had an in-home visit on Wednesday night with Ronald Williams, four-star junior college defensive back, Hutchinson Community College in Kansas. Well, he traveled to his hometown in Louisiana, met with him and his family, and there was some talk about Alabama bringing in Joshua Eaton, four-star defensive back from the state of Texas. just recently, not recently, maybe a month or so ago, decommitted from Texas. A lot of people think he's going to end up at Oklahoma. There's some talk that they were going to bring him in for an official visit this weekend because the staff really is trying to add one more um, defensive back to this class, one more cornerback, and they're trying to make sure that they can at least get one more guy on board. And I think things went really good with their visit with Ronald Williams on Wednesday. Not I don't want to say he committed to them, but I think Alabama has a good indication that of what he's going to do. And I really like Alabama's chances of getting his commitment. He's one of those guys who's going to enroll early. He can make a big impact at Alabama next year. So yeah, I like Alabama's chances there with Ronald Williams. Philip Webb, another guy that I spoke with a little bit on Friday morning, just kind of touching base, seeing how things went yesterday with his in-home visit with Coach Golding, Alabama's defensive coordinator. He said things went good. They had a good conversation. He's going to really kind of sit down over the weekend, try to make a decision on what he wants to do. But I think things have really tightened up there. Prior to his official visit to Alabama last weekend, I would have said it was all LSU. That's what I was predicting. But as of right now, I think it's tight. It's an extremely close race between Alabama and LSU. Florida's in it. Florida's in his top three. I'd be surprised if he ended up going there. I think he ends up at Alabama or LSU. Those are kind of the schools that I think he's going to choose between next Wednesday. Demoy Kennedy, who's also getting a lot of interest from LSU. He's not going anywhere this weekend, playing in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, so don't really have anything to worry about in terms of him taking any more visits. He's already taken that official visit to LSU, and as I said the other day, I think he ends up sticking with Alabama. I think Alabama's kind of weathered the storm there, and I think he's all good and all on board. In terms of really anybody else, Jace McClellan, Oklahoma running back commitment, Rivals 100 guy, going to be announcing that final decision next week. I don't think he's going anywhere this weekend. Like Alabama's chances as of right now. I think that there's a good chance he will flip to Alabama. And so as of right now, probably leaning towards predicting him in Alabama's class. Pretty much everybody else is pretty much done in terms of taking visits and doing all that stuff. There are some guys who are going to wait. Let's see here. McKinley Jackson, he's not announcing next week. He's going to wait until February to announce his commitment. You got Darnell Washington. Now, Darnell Washington, a lot of people are trying to figure out what he's going to do. The 5-star tight end from Las Vegas. As I mentioned earlier, he is going to Tennessee this weekend, but he's not going to announce a decision during the early signing period. He's going to wait until January the 2nd at the Under Armour All-America game to decide. Now, we might know. I don't want to say we will know Alabama, where Alabama stands with him next week, because it's probably still going to be tough to figure out, unless they do get a commitment from J.J. Peegs, the 4-star tight end out of Mississippi, out of Oxford, Mississippi. I think Darnell Washington is going to let some coaches know what his decision is, so that some coaches can make schools, whether it's Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Miami, whoever it may be, give those guys a heads up. Hey, this is where I'm going to go, and so they can make decisions on some of their other tight end targets who they can push for. So if we don't see Alabama get a commitment next week from J.J. Peegs, it should mean that Alabama is either still in it with Darnell Washington, or it may mean that that it was too late with J.J. Peegs. So it's going to be kind of tough to figure out, but that's definitely something that we're going to watch pretty closely. We did see where Keshawn Booty, the Rivals 100 wide receiver, announced that he's going to go ahead and sign his letter of intent next week. Been committed to LSU for a long time, took an official to Alabama. I think he ends up sticking with LSU. I don't see him flipping to Alabama, not at this time. If he was going to wait until February, I think there was, there was certainly a chance with him there. But since he's going ahead and doing it right now, I'm going ahead and saying that he's going to stick with LSU now. Raheem Jarrett, five-star wide receiver from Washington D.C. Another guy that plans on waiting until February to sign. He keeps saying, he keeps kind of keeping the door open for Alabama. I'm he's going to flip to Alabama. I know some people want to say that there's a good chance he flips. I'm kind of still on the LSU side in terms of which way I'm leaning for him to do. I just think as of right now, if he were to sign today, it'd be LSU. But the fact is, he plans on waiting until February, and I think Alabama will still have a chance with him as long as he decides to wait. But that's pretty much it. Pretty much the 5 talking points I wanted to go over today. We talked about the official visitors for Alabama this weekend, the key targets that are visiting elsewhere, the targets that are not visiting elsewhere, the guys who are making their decisions next week, and the guys who plan on waiting. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Please stay tuned to BamaInsider.com. Get on that. Get on that deal that we have out there right now with the $75 coupon to the Nike store. I mean, why not do that? Just sign up for a subscription, get that $75 gift card to the Nike store. Get your mom, get your dad, get your brother, your sister, your grandmother, anybody you want, your best friend, your wife, your husband, a cool shirt, a cool hat, cool hoodie, jacket. Go do that. Get them a subscription, BamaInsider.com. Hope you all have a great weekend. Stay tuned to Bama Insider throughout the weekend for all the very latest recruiting scoop. We'll have it all on the recruiting board, and I'll see you guys there. Thanks.